Hollow Knight Silk Song is finally coming out. After 7 long years of waiting, it's finally coming out. But while this is surely a great thing, when I told a friend of mine about it, he said, it took way too long. Why did Silk Song take so long when it takes only a year for the new Call of Duty to come out? And that's why I'm making this video. See, when you're talking about video games, you gotta remember that they're not just fancy movies. It's not just a video that's playing on your screen that you just so happen to control. No. So, to make a video game is far more complicated than just recording a video. If you want to build a simple area, you're gonna have to spend hours working on every little detail. Because the moment you add one too many things, the game crashes and you get a blue screen of death. But when you add too little, the environment feels barren and lifeless. Look at this video in the background. That's a scene I created in Unreal Engine 5. This took me well over 3 hours, and if you look at it from any angle but this one, you'll see that it's not perfect. Far from it, in fact. So when you're taking a game like Silksong, you have to realize that it's not from a huge studio with hundreds of developers working on the game for every waking hour of the day. Team Cherry is just 3 people, and even then they still need to eat and sleep, but that isn't even the half of it. Harry Gibson, the co-director of Silksong, stated in an interview, "We've been having fun. This whole thing is just a vehicle for our creativity anyways. It's nice to make fun things." Meaning, one of the main reasons it took so long was because Team Cherry was having so much fun with the game, they didn't want to stop development. Which just makes me look forward to this game even more. Now, Silksong isn't the only game that's taken such a long time. There are many other games that have taken equally long, such as Black Myth Wukong, taking over 6.5 years, and the obvious example being GTA 6, taking forever. Now, I personally don't think this game's ever coming out. The memes are too powerful. And while the hype for some of these games are insane, there are some games that were once really looked forward to but now forgotten in the eyes of the community. Take Jurassic Park Survival, a game where you play as a scientist who was on the island during the events of the original 1983 Jurassic Park movie. This game looked like a lot of fun since it gave off major Alien Isolation vibes, which is one of the best horror games to date. This game was especially exciting for someone like me, who's been a fan of the franchise since I was little. When this game was announced in the Game Awards of 2023, I was super excited. But since then, the developers have been radio silent. But we did get an update about 2 weeks ago in a behind the scenes featurette, which did raise my hopes at the time, but it already feels like so long since we've gotten anything concrete from the developers to keep the fanbase excited. Which is why I'm really concerned about whether this game's gonna come out in the 2020s, or even for that matter, come out in the first place. But that does bring me on to my next point. While it is quite saddening to hear that many great games are going to take a really long time or are even going to get cancelled, it's important to remember that there are always more games being developed. So even if one good game doesn't come out, there will be more. And hey, you might even hear about a game out of nowhere. Just recently, in Gamescom 2025, Lego Batman 4 was announced. And that was after TT being silent since the Skywalker saga released in 2022. And if you take just one look at my collection, um, yeah, you already know I'm picking this up on day one. I cannot wait. All that being said, one thing I'd like to say is that game delays can be good too. Now, I understand the frustration of following a game and really looking forward to it only for it to be delayed, but But here's the thing, game delays can be great. That is for the game itself, not so much for the mental state of the community. Take Battlefield 2042. God, we all remember how buggy that launch was. It was missing a scoreboard. The maps were big and bland. It was unbalanced. I mean, it still is unbalanced, but still a horrible launch. Now imagine if DICE had just launched the game just 1 year later. It would have been a great game. Not a great Battlefield game, mind you, but still a great game. But on the flip side, look at No Man's Sky. That game launched way too early, and players felt like they got an empty sandbox, but the devs kept at it. After years of updates, it's now considered to be one of the best comeback stories in gaming. But imagine if Hello Games had delayed it in the first place. We might have gotten the current amazing version right from day one. Delays are often the difference between a game that people forget about in a week and a game that people talk about for years. When a studio takes their time, they can polish mechanics, fix bugs, and most importantly, make sure that the game feels complete. Compare that to the year releases of Call of Duty, where the pressure to keep a new title to come out every fall means the games feel rushed, repetitive, and sometimes straight up unfinished. So yeah, waiting is tough. But it usually means the devs are trying to give us something actually worth our time. Personally, I'd rather wait a few months or even years to play something good than to have something broken on day one. So hopefully now you see, game development isn't lazy, it's just complicated. Sometimes the best games take years, and that's a good thing. At the end of the day, we only remember the masterpieces. Come on, nobody complains that Breath of the Wild took so long to come out because the moment it dropped, it blew everyone away. And when Silksong finally launches, I'd rather have waited all these years and get an amazing game than rush the devs and end up with something broken. What about you? You think studios should delay their games until they're perfect, or just release them and patch them later? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know where you stand. And hey, if you like this video, consider leaving a like or even subscribing. It helps me out a ton. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.